A physical altercation between the real AEW World Champion CM Punk and the former FTW Champion Jack Perry takes place backstage at AEW All In, just moments before CM Punk opened the pay-per-view with his match against Samoa Joe, and after Jack Perry had thrown an insult towards him, possibly live on the pre-show as well. But some people are suggesting it didn't happen. Some people are questioning who instigated it. We've got details on that, plus Mercedes Mone appears in the crowd at AEW All In, and talks between herself and All Elite Wrestling have now been revealed. Plus, AEW announces All In for 2024. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. And despite the monumental and historic and record-breaking event that was AEW All In, there is more drama behind the scenes in AEW, because this instant, another physical altercation actually happened during the show, before actually the live main card went live on the air, but during the pre-show after Jack Perry had just dropped the FTW Championship. So let's get straight into this. Again, this is a developing story, so at the time that you may watch this, more details may have come out, but there's been a lot of information already put out there, and it has actually been confirmed by the AEW president, Tony Khan himself, that an incident did take place. Now, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, CM Punk and Jack Perry had an altercation backstage at AEW All In at Wembley Stadium here in London in the UK. Now, details are few and far between at the moment, but Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has learned that Jack Perry and CM Punk had an altercation shortly before CM Punk went to the ring for his AEW All In match opener against Samoa Joe for the Real World Championship. Now, Jack Perry, of course, was on right before him on the AEW All In 0 Hour pre-show, in which he was defending the FTW Championship against Hook. He ultimately lost that match. But during the match, he did a spot on a car window. He was actually sort of driven to the ring. He had car service, and he did a spot on a car window, and he said directly to camera, quote, "It's real glass, cry me a river." Once again, he said, "It's real glass, cry me a river." That's the quote. Now, this was very clearly a shot at CM Punk, who had a confrontation at an AEW Collision taping this summer over Jack Perry's insistence on using real glass for a spot on the show. Now, Fightful have been told that Perry wasn't happy with how the situation was relayed publicly by those close to CM Punk. Now, Fightful have learned, at least what they're saying is one side of the story, which claims that Jack Perry approached CM Punk backstage and, quote, stepped in his face and, quote, bumped Punk. CM Punk was said to have then pushed Perry. Perry then, quote, allegedly came at Punk and got choked, end quote. Now, Fightful haven't heard of a particular kind of choke or who broke things up, and it was important to note when this information first came out, at least what Fightful are suggesting is this is only one side of the story, and more details will emerge. As they always say, there's one side of the truth, there's the other side, and then there's actually the truth, which is somewhere in between when it comes to this. Now, Miro, who was at AEW All In today, he appeared on the 0 Hour pre-show, the first segment and the earliest segment on the show. He had a contract signing against Powerhouse Hobbs, so he was at the building, he was at the event, and around this period of time, most likely, he would have been in the gorilla position. He's had his say on the incident in question. He tweeted out the following. He quote tweeted Wrestle Purist Twitter account, which was aggregating what Sean Ross Sapp had said in the Fightful Select reports, and he simply said, quote, "That's fake and untrue." Now, it must be said, there's not a lot of details that he's given there. I don't know if he's saying the entire story is fake. I don't know if he's saying that what the untrue part of it is just maybe the reporting of what actually happened, because Tony Khan himself has actually confirmed this, but we'll go back to that in a second. So Miro is saying it's, quote, fake and untrue. However, PW Insider has also reported that Jack Perry was sent away from Wembley Stadium in London in the UK, and CM Punk was still at the building as of the end of the show. So despite Miro saying that it's fake and it's not true, Jack Perry was sent away, CM Punk is still there. Now, Sean Ross Sapp says that Fightful have reached out to both CM Punk and Jack Perry for their sides of the story. There's a bit of a misconception that they wanted to address as well regarding their prior argument. And there was a quote in the previous story about their first argument at Collision whereby it said, quote, Perry trying not to come to work the next week. And Fightful have been told that he had a pre-planned vacation. That was approved. That's why he wasn't going to be coming into work next week. Essentially, if you're not familiar with the previous argument, Jack Perry wanted to do a spot with Real Glass at Collision. Several people, not just CM Punk, were not happy about this. Tony Schiavone was involved in the segment, and they got CM Punk involved as a senior figure with AEW Collision, and they said, no, these things have to be improved. There have to be checks and balances. And I think the quote was, we don't operate like that on Saturday, or we don't do that on Saturdays kind of thing. So that was the argument in question. But seemingly tonight, it's led to a physical altercation. Now, some people, because they'll say everything's a work in the wrestling business, it didn't happen, or because Miro said it's fake, etc., etc., they're saying it didn't happen. Well, the AEW president, CEO, general manager, and head of creative himself, Tony Khan, he's appeared at the post-show media scrum, and indeed, he's confirmed that it has happened. He's actually commented on this backstage altercation that happened before the show went on the air. Now, speaking at the AEW All In Media Scrum that took place after the show, Tony Khan confirmed that an incident did take place, but did not comment on the nature of it, nor who was involved, and said it's still being investigated. He said, quote, I can't comment on it at this time beyond what I'm about to say. Yes, there was an incident backstage before we went live on tonight's show. We are investigating it, and until I learn more about what happened, I can't comment on it at this time, but I did want to be honest with you and tell you that is the case, he said. Of course, we'll continue to monitor this story. If there are any more updates on this as of right now, again, there's people saying it did happen. It did happen. Some people are saying that, CM Punk may have thrown the first punch. Some people are saying that, no, CM Punk was the instigator and all this kind of stuff. Again, we don't know as of right now really what is generally the case when it comes to this. It's still, as I mentioned, a developing story. It's still a story that, again, as of right now, is changing and evolving and still, again, quite odd. But again, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happened. We'll wait and see what is being said, and who knows? Who knows where this story will go next? But let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. Nearly a year to the day of Brawl Out after All Out involving CM Punk. Is this Brawl In involving CM Punk at All In? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, Mercedes Moné was in the audience. She was at Wembley Stadium today as well. Mercedes Moné was present at AEW All In on Sunday. Moné was shown on camera seated in the audience during the pre-show, and then again later during the night's trios title match. She was acknowledged on commentary, and a graphic with her name appeared on the screen. Now, Moné was wearing a black armband with Wyndham written on it, referring to the late Wyndham Rotunda. Speculation that the former IWGP Women's Champion would be at the show began earlier on Sunday after she posted photos of herself in London on social media. Moné has been out of action since suffering an injury at the New Japan Resurgence event on May 21st, and there has been some speculation that previously she was scheduled to come in and maybe have a match at Forbidden Door. Of course, that didn't happen due to her injury, but Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has provided some more details on possible talks between Moné and All Elite Wrestling. Mercedes Moné, of course, was at AEW All In, and that might not just be it. Moné, as I mentioned, was shown in attendance at All In London, causing natural suspicion that she could be coming to All Elite Wrestling soon. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select is saying that they can confirm there have been what they're calling recent conversations between the two sides, and that she's, quote, open to appearing, with one source even showing heavy optimism that the two sides will be working together. Another source spoke as if it was actually in the works. Of course, Mercedes has yet to make an appearance for AEW since leaving WWE in May of last year, of walking out. Of course, she became a free agent earlier on this year. But Fightful Select are confirming talks have taken place, and a lot of people are working under the assumption she's going to be appearing. Could it be as soon as next week? Of course, Saraya is the brand new AEW Women's World Champion, and who ended Saraya's career? Mercedes Moné. So could possibly Moné come in and take the championship away from Saraya next week at the United Center in Chicago? It certainly leaves a lot of questions. Finally, AEW All In tonight was a massive success for the company, breaking the record for paid attendance, over 81,000 people attending the show at Wembley Stadium. But it's not going to be the last time that AEW has an All In event from Wembley Stadium in London, because AEW All Elite Wrestling is going back to Wembley Stadium, and it's bringing All In back with them next year on August 24th. The announcement was made at the end of this year's All In event, which saw MJF retaining not only the AEW World Championship by defeating Adam Cole, but also his friendship with his best friend. It's not surprising that the event will be returning, since today's show hit a worldwide record of 81,035 people in attendance, according to AEW, the highest paid attendance in pro wrestling history for an event. AEW, as I mentioned, All In saw a few title changes during the 0-hour part of the show. Cole and MJF defeated Aussie Open to become the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Hook defeated Jack Perry to become the new FTW Champion. In the main show, Saraya outlasted Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, and Toni Storm to become the new AEW Women's Champion. So what are your thoughts on AEW All In returning to Wembley Stadium next year? Can they replicate what they did this year? Can they sell more tickets, or will they sell less? Let me know your thoughts on everything in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.